I spent every summer at Clover Camp, and every summer I came back a little less human. You'd think my parents would have noticed the way I stopped smiling, the way I flinched at loud noises, the way I woke up screaming at exactly 5 a.m. that they were too proud, because Clover Camp didn't accept just anyone. You had to be selected. The invitation came in a cream-colored envelope with no return address, just my name in green ink. My mom cried when she read it. Do you know how lucky you are? Clover Camp builds character. She was right. It built something in me, just not character. The bus arrived at exactly 5 a.m. A faded yellow school bus with blacked out windows. 12 of us got on that first year, ages 9 to 14. None of us spoke, not because we were shy, because somewhere deep in our bones we already knew. If you were invited once, you'd been invited before. Some memories live deeper than thought. Clover Camp looked perfect. Too perfect. White cabins, fresh paint, a lake that sparkled like glass, and counselors who smiled just a little too wide. They wore matching green uniforms. No name tags. They never told us their names. We weren't allowed to ask the first day. They called it orientation. We lined up in a windowless dining hall. Fluorescent lights hummed overhead. A tall woman stood before us. I am the director, she said. Not her name. Her title. Behind her, a screen flickered on. Instead of camp activities, we saw work schedules, field rotations, wood hauling, kitchen prep, equipment maintenance, 16-hour shifts. We were children. Just stared until the laughter died. That's when I learned the most important rule. Don't complain. A boy named Aaron forgot that rule. At dinner, he raised his hand. I want to call my parents. A counselor smiled. Of course, come with me. Next morning, his bed was made. His name erased from the roster, like he never existed. The work started the next day. We hauled logs from the forest, whole tree trunks, 100 pounds or more. The counselors watched, took notes. If you slowed down, they wrote something. If you dropped a log, they wrote something. If you cried, they wrote something. We never knew what they were measuring, but every summer fewer kids returned, and new ones arrived. There was one place we couldn't go. The far side of the lake. Chain link fence, barbed wire, signs that said authorized personnel only. But during my third summer, I saw lights over there at night. Floodlights, and I heard sounds. Metal, chains, machinery, and screaming, muffled, like it was coming from underground. The next morning I found a green counselor uniform floating in the lake, stained dark, empty. That was the summer I found the records room. I was on cleaning duty when I saw a door left open, just a crack. Inside were filing cabinets, hundreds of folders, each one with a name, a photo, and pages of notes. Stress tolerance, pain response, isolation reaction, sleep deprivation effects. These weren't camp records, they were research files, scientific studies. On us, I found my folder, my 9-year-old face staring back at me. At the bottom, stamped in red ink, transfer phase 2. I heard footsteps behind me. You weren't supposed to see that. The director stood in the doorway. Her face wasn't angry, it was satisfied. But now that you have, she said, stepping inside and closing the door, we can finally move forward. She smiled that terrible smile. Welcome to phase 2. The lights went out. Clover Camp wasn't just using us for labor. They were testing us. Testing how long children could function under extreme physical and psychological strain. Testing endurance, obedience, breaking points. We weren't campers. We were subjects. The resilient ones were invited back. The ones who bent but didn't break. The rest, they disappeared. I don't remember what happened after the lights went out. My memories come in fragments. Being moved underground, colder air, other children with empty trained eyes, lessons, training, things I still can't talk about. Then one day, they put me on a bus and sent me home. My parents hugged me. How proud they were. They never asked what I learned there. What happened during those 16-hour days. They'd signed something, agreed to something, for the prestige of having their child selected. I'm 34 now. It's been 20 years since my last summer at Clover Camp. I still wake up at exactly 5 a.m. Heart pounding, waiting for that bell. I've searched for information about the camp, records, news articles, other survivors. There's nothing. No trace it ever existed, but sometimes, once or twice a year, I see someone in a coffee shop, on a subway, someone who moves with a certain control, who has that look in their eyes. And I know they were at Clover Camp too. We never speak. We just lock eyes for half a second. Recognition passes between us, and a warning, because Clover Camp might not exist on any map, but phase 2 never ends. Some of us are still there, still being tested, still being watched, and the invitations, they still go out every spring. Cream-colored envelopes, no return address, green ink. If you get one, burn it. Don't make the mistake our parents did. Don't believe that any place that makes children disappear is building character, because some camps don't send you home. They just make you forget you ever wanted to leave.